Sonic the Hedgehog isn't just a game character, he's a cultural icon that has shaped the world of gaming for over 3 decades. And now, he's about to redefine speed and adventure once again with Sonic X Shadow Generations. At its core, Sonic X Shadow Generations is a love letter to Sonic fans, both old and new. But what exactly is this game, you ask? Well, imagine taking the best parts of Sonic, past and present, then adding a dash of edgy attitude. That is Sonic X Shadow Generations in a nutshell. This exciting package is actually 2 games in one. On one side, we have a beautifully remastered version of the beloved Sonic Generations from 2011, a game that celebrated 20 years of Sonic history by blending classic 2D gameplay with modern 3D levels. But that's just half the story. The real star of the show is a brand new adventure featuring everyone's favorite anti-hero, Shadow the Hedgehog. This isn't just some tacked-on extra content, it's a full-fledged game that runs parallel to the events of Sonic Generations, offering a fresh perspective on familiar territory. Set to hit the shelves on October 25th, 2024, Sonic X Shadow Generations is making sure no gamer is left behind. Whether you're Team Nintendo with your Switch, part of the PlayStation family with PS4 or PS5, an Xbox aficionado with Xbox One or Series X/S, or a dedicated PC gamer, you'll be able to join in on the action. It's a release that truly spans generations, both in its content and its availability. For those who might have missed the first time around, Sonic Generations was a game that hit all the right notes for fans and newcomers alike. It was a brilliant celebration of 20 years of Sonic history, bringing together the best of both worlds, the classic 2D side-scrolling action that started it all, and the high-octane 3D gameplay that brought Sonic into the modern era. But this isn't just a simple re-release. Oh no, the developers have gone above and beyond to make this the definitive version of Sonic Generations. The first thing you'll notice is the visual upgrade. The already vibrant and colorful world of Sonic has been given a fresh coat of paint, with enhanced lighting, sharper textures, and smoother animations. However, the improvements aren't just skin deep. The gameplay has been fine-tuned to be smoother and more responsive than ever. One of the coolest additions is the inclusion of the drop dash move, which was introduced in Sonic Mania. This little trick allows Sonic to instantly dash forward after landing from a jump, giving players a new way to maintain momentum and zip through levels even faster. It's a small change that makes a big difference, adding a new layer of strategy to how you approach each level. But wait, there is more. For those who love to explore every nook and cranny of a game, the developers have hidden 3 KO in each level. It's a clever way to add replay value to levels you might have already mastered. The remastered Sonic Generation serves as a perfect counterpoint to the new Shadow campaign. It's a reminder of where the series has been, setting the stage for where it's going. And speaking of where it's going, let's talk about the star of the show, Shadow Generations. The story kicks off with a bang. While Sonic is off dealing with the time-bending shenanigans of the original Generations plot, Shadow finds himself pulled into a parallel crisis. His old nemesis, Black Doom, is back on the scene and up to no good. This sets the stage for a journey that's not just about saving the world, although there's plenty of that, but also about exploring Shadow's complex history and character. What makes Shadow Generations truly special is how it reimagines familiar levels from past Sonic games through Shadow's unique lens. The result is a game that feels both familiar and entirely new. It's like revisiting your old neighborhood, but with the ability to parkour across rooftops and manipulate time. It's this blend of nostalgia and innovation that makes Shadow Generations stand out as more than just a spin-off. It's a fully realized Sonic experience in its own right. Now, let's get into the real meat of Sonic X Shadow Generations, the gameplay. At its core, the game is all about speed, precision, and power, but it's the way these elements are balanced and implemented that makes the experience truly unique. Let's start with our blue hero, Sonic. His gameplay in the remastered generation stays true to what fans know and love, but the real star of the show in terms of gameplay innovation is Shadow. While he can match Sonic's speed, his playstyle is a perfect blend of velocity and raw power. The cornerstone of Shadow's toolkit is Chaos Control, his signature move that allows him to freeze time. Imagine you're racing through a level when suddenly you're faced with a barrage of missiles. As Sonic, you'd have to rely on split-second timing to dodge them. But as Shadow, you can activate Chaos Control, freezing the missiles in midair and then use them as platforms to reach new areas. It's this kind of creative gameplay that sets Shadow's campaign apart. But Chaos Control is just the beginning. Shadow also has access to Doom powers, which are essentially power-ups that grant him new abilities. The Doom Surf, for example, lets Shadow glide across water surfaces with ease, turning what could be a hazardous obstacle into a thrilling speedway. Then there's the Doom Blast, which allows Shadow to launch enemies into the air and use them to access new parts of the level. These powers aren't just for show, they're integral to how you navigate and overcome the challenges in each stage. The levels themselves are a masterclass in design, seamlessly blending 2D and 3D gameplay. You'll find yourself switching between side-scrolling sections that call back to Sonic's roots and sweeping 3D areas that showcase the full extent of Shadow's abilities. Each stage is a playground designed to test your mastery of Shadow's unique moveset. What's truly impressive as well is how the game encourages experimentation. There's often more than one way to tackle a challenge or reach a goal, and clever use of Shadow's abilities can reveal shortcuts and secrets that less observant players might miss. This adds a layer of replayability to each level, so you'll want to go back and see what you missed or try to beat your best time using a different strategy. The result is a gameplay experience that feels both familiar and entirely new. It captures the speed and fluidity that Sonic games are known for while adding a layer of tactical depth that keeps things fresh and exciting. Whether you're racing through a level as Sonic or strategically using Shadow's powers to overcome obstacles, Sonic X Shadow Generations offers a gameplay experience that's sure to keep you on your toes. But gameplay is only part of the equation. To truly bring this world to life, the developers have created a hub world that's more than just a fancy menu. Gone are the days of simple level select screens or basic 2D planes. Instead, we're treated to a fully realized 3D environment that serves as both a playground and a narrative space. In the original Sonic Generations, the hub world was a simple 2D plane that, while charming, didn't offer much in terms of interactivity. Shadow's hub world, on the other hand, is a game within itself. It's a vast, explorable area that expands as you progress through the main story, reaching new secrets and challenges along the way. This hub world serves multiple purposes. First and foremost, it's where you'll access the main levels of Shadow's campaign. But it's so much more than just a fancy level select screen. As you explore, you'll find collectibles hidden in clever spots, encounter mini-games that test your mastery of Shadow's abilities, and even uncover bits of lore that flesh out the game's story. One of the coolest aspects of the hub world is how it evolves over time. As you complete main levels and defeat bosses, new areas of the hub world will unlock. These aren't just cosmetic changes. Each new area brings with it new challenges, secrets, and even characters to interact with. It's a clever way of tying the game's progression to the hub world, making each return feel fresh and exciting. The hub world also serves as a perfect testing ground for Shadow's abilities. Got a new Doom power and want to see what it can do? The hub world offers plenty of opportunities to experiment without the pressure of a main level. It's a safe space to practice and perfect your skills before taking on the next big challenge. But perhaps the most important aspect of the hub world is how it contributes to the game's storytelling. Through environmental details, character interactions, and collectible lore items, the hub world helps to flesh out the narrative in ways that the main levels can't. It's here that you'll really get a sense of Shadow's place in this world and the stakes of his missions. The hub world is also where you'll be able to access some of the game's extra content. Remember, those KO you've been collecting in the main levels? Well, the hub world is where you'll be able to interact with them, potentially unlocking rewards or mini-games. It's also where you'll be able to listen to music tracks you've unlocked, view artwork, and even access DLC content as it becomes available. In essence, the hub world in Sonic X Shadow Generations is a masterstroke of game design. It takes what could have been a simple menu and turns it into an integral part of game experience. It's a place to play, explore, learn, and immerse yourself in the world of Shadow the Hedgehog. And speaking of immersion, let's dive into how the game's story and characters bring the world to life. While high-speed gameplay is the heart of any Sonic game, it's the story and characters that give it soul. And in Sonic X Shadow Generations, we're treated to a narrative that's both a celebration of Sonic history and a bold step forward for the franchise. The story of Shadow Generations runs parallel to the events of Sonic Generations, offering a fresh perspective on a familiar tale. While Sonic is off dealing with the time-bending crisis of the original game, we follow Shadow as he faces his own challenges. What makes this story particularly exciting is how it weaves together elements from across the Sonic franchise. But the story isn't just told through cutscenes and dialogue. The game makes clever use of environmental storytelling, particularly in the hub world. As you explore, you'll uncover bits of lore that flesh out the game's world and Shadow's place in it. It's a rewarding system that encourages exploration and adds layers to the main narrative. Of course, no discussion of the story would be complete without mentioning the animated Prologue miniseries, Sonic X Shadow Generations Dark Beginnings. This 3-episode series sets the stage for the game's events, offering additional context and backstory. It's a great example of how the developers are expanding the storyline beyond just the game itself. All of this comes together to create a narrative that respects the character's history while also pushing it in a new, interesting direction. It's a story that longtime fans will appreciate for its depth and callbacks, but also one that newcomers can enjoy as a thrilling adventure in its own right. The creation of Sonic X Shadow Generations is a fascinating story in itself. Tied closely to Sega's broader plans for the Sonic franchise, this game is actually part of a larger initiative called Fearless Year of Shadow, a marketing campaign designed to put the spotlight on everyone's favorite edgy hedgehog. The timing of this campaign is no coincidence. It's set to coincide not just with the release of this game, but also with Shadow's prominent role in the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie. It's a coordinated effort to bring Shadow to the forefront of the Sonic universe across multiple media. The development of Shadow Generations was led by Katsuki Shahara, one of the designers from the original Sonic Generations. This connection to the past helped ensure that the new game would stay true to what made Generations great, while also pushing the franchise in new directions. The team's goal was clear from the start: create an experience that honored Shadow's history while also pushing the character in new directions. But development wasn't just about the gameplay. A lot of effort went into crafting the game's story, ensuring it tied into the broader Sonic universe while still standing out on its own. The Fearless Year of Shadow campaign also influenced the game's development in other ways. For example, the decision to include a level based on the upcoming movie was a direct result of the cross-media approach. It's a strategy that aims to create a cohesive Shadow experience across games, movies, and other media. And all of this behind-the-scenes work has resulted in a game that feels both fresh and familiar, a true evolution of the Sonic franchise. But hey, we've only scratched the surface of what this game has to offer. There is so much more to discover, from hidden Easter eggs to mind-bending levels that'll test even the most skilled players. So, what do you think? Are you excited to experience this clash of speed and power for yourself? If you enjoyed this deep dive into Sonic X Shadow Generations, why not join our community of gaming enthusiasts? Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay up to date with all our latest gaming breakdowns and analysis. And don't forget to leave a comment down below. Let us know which aspect of the game you're most excited about.